So, hey guys, long time no see from this destination, filming location. It's so good to be home with my bookshelves. I've missed them, and I've missed you guys too. I am going to be doing a very, very late December wrap-up and January TBR. TBR. I should also stop to mention that just before I started filming this video, I kind of hit 1,000 subscribers. It doesn't seem real. I didn't think that it would get this far. Honestly, I thought like, yeah, I'll make a channel for fun, and if it gets somewhere, that's great. And it got somewhere. It's got to 1,000 subscribers, and I mean, the numbers don't matter, but like at the same time, like it's so exciting because 1,000 of you like my videos enough to come back and watch them all the time, and you want to subscribe to me. Oh, okay. I'll probably make a bigger thank you video when I'm less emotional. Until then, this is my thank you. So thank you guys so much for subscribing and watching my videos, and just I love you so, so much. And my thank you video will be up once I film it, and possibly a giveaway. I know I want to do a giveaway because this is like a big milestone for me. So thank you guys so, so much. So the first book that I read in December, I read at the very beginning of the month. Well, I started it in November, finished it in December, because by the time I got it in November, it was like the last 2 weeks of November, and it took me a while, and you'll know why. It's a reread, and I'm pointing a lot, and I'm sorry. This is not the actual copy that I read. The copy that I read is now with Gwen in the US, but this is the copy that I have, and so I'm going to show it to you guys now and stop rambling. It is The Fault in Our Stars by John Green. I reread this book for the, I want to say 9th or 10th time, not 100% sure. This is my copy with all the, oh, you can barely see them, all the doodads that I bookmarked off. But the copy that I read is now with Gwen. She just got the package today, and it was the traveling book. I got it from Whitney. I've now sent it to Gwen, and now Gwen gets to read it. She filmed her unboxing of the present that I got her, and then the traveling book, which I also wrapped because it was Christmas. I had to wrap it. It wouldn't be Christmas without doing that. So her video should be up by the time this one goes up, maybe before this one goes up. I'm not entirely sure, but when the video does go up, whether it's before or after this one goes up, I will link it down in the doobly-doo, so be sure to check it out because I am very excited to see her reaction, and I hope you guys enjoy my little wrapping gift thingy that I sent her. Back to this now. I went through and marked off all of my favorite parts of TFIOS. That's basically what the traveling book was about. The link to the video that I made about the traveling book is in the doobly-doo as well. There's a lot of links in that doobly-doo. I apologize for that. But this was the first book that I read. 9th time through, still cried, still loved it, never gonna change. 5 out of 5, will read again. Definitely. No two ands, ifs, or buts about it. The next book that I read in December, I was actually reading before I got the traveling book. And I didn't finish it until after I finished the traveling book, obviously. But I finished it like the day after. No, not even. The day I finished the traveling book, I also finished this book because I was 3/4 of the way through it. And that book is Billy and Me by Giovanna Fletcher. Now, she is the author of this book. She is also the author of You're the One That I Want. And she is the wife of Tom Fletcher from McFly. So she has a YouTube channel. She does Coffee with G. She does Dear Tom and Carrie videos, and she's really, really funny, and her son is adorable, and I could just boast about her and Tom and Carrie all day, every day, because I watch their videos all the time. And she's an author, and she's really freaking good at it. At the beginning of this book, I thought it was going to be a YA. I thought it was going to be a YA book, but it actually turned out to be a new adult book, which is pretty cool because now I can say I'm branching off into more new adult books. I didn't think that was going to happen. but it did. So I have to read her other book. It's down there on the shelf of shame, and it's going to be read very soon, because when I hit that book buying ban in February, all those books are going to be read soon, because I want new books. New books! New books every day, all day, every day. Want, need. Yes! The next book I finished in December was the Novel Bunches Book of the Month for December. And originally, if you guys are not new to my channel, you know that we were supposed to read My True Love Gave to Me. That didn't happen because I couldn't get a copy in time, so we decided to read this book instead. And I'm kind of glad we did, because I absolutely love this book, and it is Let It Snow, Three Holiday Romances by, you can't see this because the snowflakes are all blurred out with the beautiful autofocus, but it's by John Green, Maureen Johnson, and Lauren Miracle. I think it's Miracle. This book was so good, and all the stories intertwined, might I add, and they were so cute. Like, okay, the last one. I'm not too fond of the last one, but the first two, solid 5 stars to both of them, and I need to check out more of Maureen Johnson's work, because I've read basically all of John Green's books except for Will Grayson now that I'm thinking about it. Every single one, except for Paper Towns, because I didn't finish that because I didn't like it. But I have never read any Maureen Johnson books, so I'm going to need to check her out, because her story was awesome. Awesome. Absolutely loved it. Do recommend. Great holiday read. I can't talk. I'm sorry. The next book I finished in December was a book that my mom recommended to me. It's one of the only books she actually liked. Oh, geez, I just showed it to you. One of the only books she actually liked reading other than Danielle Steele books. And she only read it twice. I think she said this is the only book that she reread. And I say that in almost every video I mention this book in. But I read it. I wasn't too sure that I was going to like it because it was a book that my mom liked, and we don't really have the same taste. But I read it, and I just hit my wall. I read it and absolutely fell in love with it. I gave it 5 stars, and it is The Outsiders by S.E. Hinton. And this is like a modern classic. I think it's considered a modern classic. I'm not entirely sure, and if I keep looking over there, I'm sorry. It's because of the viewfinder on my new camera. Ignore that. But this book caught my attention more than I thought it would, and I just realized, like the day I finished this, which was like midway through December, that Patrick Swayze plays Daryl in the movie, and oh my god, I have if you guys have seen my Dirty Dancing shirt, I absolutely love Patrick Swayze. Loved him in Dirty Dancing, loved him in Ghost, loved him in Dirty Dancing 2 when he played the dance instructor guy. And now I have to watch this. I just have to watch it because Patrick Swayze's in it. And I love the book, so I'm hoping to like the movie too. So I'm gonna go watch that like yesterday. I need to watch it like ASAP. The next book that I finished in December, so good. Absolutely loved it. Actually talked to the author on Twitter, and she kind of follows me on there, so I kind of like fangirl every time I see this book, think about this book, go on Twitter because she follows me. So if she's watching this, hello. Hi. Well, that's awkward. This book though was so good. It was like destined to be a book to be read in December because it kind of has like the winter-based theme to it, but it's not Christmas. You'll understand when I show it to you. The book that I am boasting about and absolutely love is Snow Like Ashes by Sarah Rash. This book was so good. I finished it the day before New Year's, so just at the end of December, but it was so good. I loved it. Like, I'll elaborate more in my review when I film it. So that'll be linked down below once it goes up. It might be like a while, not a while, but like a little bit after this one goes up and a couple others go up. But it's coming. I am doing a review on this because I loved it that much, and I need to get my hands on the second one. I am going to try my hardest to get a hold of the second book before it comes out. If I can get it to review it That'd be pretty freaking cool. Like, that would be really cool. Actually, I am going to try my very best to get my hands on a copy of it because I need to read it. I need to know what happens. This book is mind-blowing and it is so good. Just go read it. Just read it. Please read it. The last two books I am going to show together because they're fairly small and they go together. They're part 1 and part 2. If you have been on my Twitter, you'll probably know what these are before I even say it. But if you haven't been on my Twitter, then it's probably going to be a surprise when I say they're graphic novels, because I never thought I would read graphic novels. I've never read a graphic novel in my life until I read these, and I'm so grateful that I did because they were absolutely freaking amazing, and they are Saga by Brian K. Vaughan and Fiona Staples. This is the first volume. This is the second volume. I do own the third volume and I do own the fourth volume, which I picked up today. And I have read the third volume, but I read it in January, so it's going to be my January wrap-up. These two, however, I read this one the day I finished No Like Ashes. I read this one a couple days, no, not even a couple days after, the day after. So on New Year's Day I finished this one. These are so good. They're definitely graphic. There are some very interesting pictures in there. They are not suitable for anybody like under the age of, I want to say, 14. But they're so good, and I've heard a lot about them on BookTube and on Goodreads, and I've been wanting to pick them up for a while, but I haven't because I've been really skeptical about reading graphic novels. But I'm so glad that I picked them up, and now I'm like constantly looking online for new graphic novels. I have yet to find one that's caught my attention as much as these, but that's not to say that I won't pick up graphic novels in the future. There are a few that I have seen on NetGalley that have really caught my eye, so maybe when they do come out, I will get a copy of those to read them because they seem really good. But for anybody who is just starting out in graphic novels and you want something that's really going to catch your attention and you're over the age of 14, because if you're not, you should not be reading these. But if you are over the age of 14 or are 14, I think Saga would be a very great start to graphic novels because that's where I started and I'm kind of obsessed. I'm like literally, seriously, totally obsessed. So those were the books that I read in December. I just counted them up and I just realized I read 7 books in December. Since when have I read 7 books in 1 month? I mean, like, never. The last time I read 7 books was probably before I started BookTube. Honestly, I don't remember the last time I read 7 books because I've been in a reading slump. And so it feels really great to say that I've read 7 books. And I actually completed my Goodreads goal, too. I think I read 36 books, so I was 1 above my goal, but that was like the 3rd or 4th time I had updated it, so I beat it like 4 or 5 times. I'm hoping to do that again this year. I set my goal for 50 books, and that's like basically 1 book a week. Yes, about that much. So now that I'm done with the books that I read in December, I'm going to go into the books that I would like to read for January. So I only have 4 books on my list for the month of January, one of which I have already read, so I'm already ahead of the game. And the one that I have read is not that one, is Saga Volume 3 by Brian K. Vaughan and Fiona Staples again. This is obviously the 3rd volume, and I finally just got the 4th volume today, as you already know. I finished this on the way home from Cape Breton, which was like 2 days after New Year's, or a day after New Year's. We didn't leave New Year's Day. We left the day after. Yes, 2 days after New Year's Eve. Okay, anyways, I finished this, but I couldn't put it in my December wrap-up because I did finish it in January. That being said, it will be in my January wrap-up, but I also want to complete Saga Volume 4. I have not started it, but I picked it up today, and I will probably read it tonight, all of it, completely. It'll be done, and then I'll be like complaining and crying and forever sobbing until the 5th volume comes out. which is God knows when. Who knows? Who knows? Does anybody know when Volume 5 comes out, or is there even like a release date, or is there even like a Volume 5 in their brain yet? Does anybody know? Because if you do, let me know, because I'm kind of like seriously like dyingly obsessed over these graphic novels. I'm not okay. The next book that I want to finish in January is a book that I'm currently reading. I mentioned it in my Christmas book haul because that's when I got it, but I also was currently reading it then. I'm definitely further than I was before. I was only on page 23 and now I'm on page 104, so I'm not that far in, but it's going pretty slow paced. So if I do a review on this, I'm definitely going to have to mention that. But it is Reboot by Amy Tintera. This book caught my eye, and like, it sounds so cool. Like the front page is like, 5 years ago I died, 178 minutes later I woke up. And that sounded so awesome. And the book does seem like it has a great concept. It just seems like it's taking forever, and I mean forever, to get into it, because like I'm 105 pages in and it doesn't seem like it's really gotten anywhere yet. And usually by then you're somewhere towards the middle of the book, like the big happening of the book, and that hasn't happened yet. So I am anxiously awaiting for the big woo to happen with this book. So hopefully I will finish it, and I'll probably pick up Rebel in February. The last book on my TBR list is Crash Into You by Katie McGarry. I have talked to Katie McGarry on Twitter, and I mentioned that I asked her if I had to read the other books before I read this book. She said I didn't, if I didn't have them, but it's best to read them in order, but none of them like go together from what I know. They're just like standalones, but they can be read together and it kind of makes sense. But this is the only one I own. But I kind of want to read a book that reminds me of, you can't see it because my Grimm's fairy tale book is in the way, but Beautiful Disaster and Walking Disaster, and their new adult books by Jamie Maguire. This kind of reminds me, like the back reminds me of what Beautiful Disaster and Walking Disaster were like. And I'm hoping that this lives up to the expectation of like reading a book that is like them, because I absolutely love them. And if I read this book, then I will probably end up picking up Beautiful Oblivion, because I have that on my shelf, and it's the companion novel to that series. And I need to read that like years ago, even though it only came out last year. So that is it for my December wrap up, you guys. I hope you guys are happy that I am home. I know I am. I missed my babies. I missed you all. I'm so glad to be home, but I really miss Cape Breton. Like, I really miss them. So Melody, if you're watching this, I miss you, and I miss you, Squishy, too, even though they never met you. But that's okay, because if you're watching this, I really miss you, and I want to come home. So comment down below the books you read in December and the books you want to read in January, because I'm always looking for more suggestions. I'm kind of like not really sure how to end this video, so I'm just gonna end it here before it gets really awkward. So I will see you guys in my next video. Bye!